All right, let's take a look at some more examples to give ourselves a little bit of practice. Since we've had this opportunity, I want you to take a look at y equals 3x minus 6 and take about 30 seconds to identify the slope and y-intercept, and then go ahead and hit play again when you've had an opportunity to do that to check to see if you are right. We will then pause again so you can practice graphing it. All right, taking a look here, I see that there is a 3 in front of that x, which tells me that my slope is 3, or in the case of rise over run, 3 over 1. I also know that my y-intercept here would be after that, and it's a minus 6. So I'm going to note that my b is minus 6. When I go ahead and graph this, I know that I have to go down 6. So I count down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and make my point. And then I know that it's positive 3 over 1, so I'm going to go up 3 over 1 and make my point here, and then I'll go up 3 over 1 and make my point here. And then finally, I'm going to go ahead and connect my dots so I can show that it is a line. Moving on to the next example, y equals 2, which y equals 2 is a little bit more challenging. This one's easier to graph from an equation than it would be from a table because a lot of you would struggle to understand what that means. So when we were talking about this yesterday, we talked about how y equals 2, if we want to write it in the form of y equals mx plus b, we would write y equals 0x plus 2, which then therefore tells me that my slope, or m, is 0, which means that we are going to have a flat line, which is really nice. Then we're going to go ahead and mark that our b is plus 2. So when I go ahead to graph this, I'm going to put a plus dot at plus 2. And then the nice part is because it's a zero slope flat line, I can go anywhere I want along this y equals 2 line. And yours don't have to be in the exact same spots, although it is nice. And then I can graph my nice flat line. Remember, when it says y equals, that's horizontal. Now, looking at this final example that I've got here for you today, this one, we have y equals negative 5 halves x. This one I want you to go ahead and pause it, check out, see if you can get the slope and the y-intercept, and if you can then check your work once you've had a chance to figure it out. I'm going to take a look at this one. I see that there's this negative 5 halves, so I know that my slope is equal to negative 5 halves. And then I'm going to go ahead and take a look here and see that there is absolutely nothing after that x, which means our b is equal to 0, which tells me that I'm going to have a graph that crosses the y-axis at 0, which means it's going to therefore cross at the origin. Negative 5 halves tells me I'm going to go down 5 and forward 2. So I'm going to go ahead and make my point here, and then I will go down 5. One of the other things I can do is, because it's negative, I can also take that negative and put it down here and go up 5 and back 2 and plot my point there, because either way that will get me the same thing. And then finally I'm going to go ahead, and I'm not sure why that keeps doing that, I'm going to connect my dots And there you go. So the thing that you have left to do is to try these two problems, solve them yourself, graph them, and then go ahead and check them with me, write your summary, and bring them to class tomorrow.